Hi, everybody. This is Damian and Mary. We're back for a podcast, and I don't remember what movie we will talk about.
Oh, because we already are recording.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, again, hello everyone. Um, today we will be talking about the infamous Batman vs. Superman movie
Oh, yeah.
from 2016, directed by Zack Snyder and, starring Ben Affleck as Batman. We just saw this movie like 2 days ago. For me, it was the second time since the movie premiered in 2016. And for Mari, it was her first time
Yep.
watching this movie. And the most interesting part for us, I think, especially for Mari, was the whole Batman part of the movie. So we will discuss the movie in general, but probably we will focus more on all Batman related stuff than, for example, Superman or the whole extended universe part of the movie.
We will see.
Yeah, okay, then we will see.
Okay.
And just to well, just to clarify, because there are two versions of this movie: the theatrical version, which is a bit shorter, and the I think it's called the Ultimate Cut. Well, the extended version. Unfortunately, we watched the shorter one because, that was the one that was available on our VOD platform. I say unfortunately because when I watched it 6 years ago, I remember I watched the extended cut. It was actually much better because it was longer and the pacing was better, etc., etc. But, so Mari, did you like the movie?
I. Yes. I mean, so. It's like if I had to rate it from 1 to 10, it would be like 4.5, 5. Like, wasn't bad, wasn't good. We had some good elements, but the movie as a movie, I mean, I do not like Superman. I do not like Superman. So, yeah, 5. Okay. And you? Did you like the movie?
Mm, yeah, I would probably rate it more or less the same, 4.5, 5. I remember the extended cut. I think I gave it 6 back then, but the theatrical one, yeah, it's more like 5. Well, the movie actually starts nice.
Yes.
Like the first act, I think it's really nice. It's interesting, the whole concept, and all the storylines they start in the first act. It really seems nice. I mean, in general, I believe it's a movie that had a lot of potential because of the great cast. Um, Ben Affleck is just amazing as both Bruce Wayne and Batman for me, and the idea was nice. I think if they just followed the way they started the movie instead of trying to do, I don't know, like the build up for the whole future cinematic universe, I think it would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. It's not like a typical Batman movie, basically. It's like it has a little bit too much of everything, I would say. But about Ben Affleck, I agree with you. I think he kind of naturally is both of, I don't know how to say that. Like he has like this kind of like smooth transition between Batman and Wayne and between Wayne and Batman. He's like it's like I don't know, he does that like very smoothly. Like it works well. It works well. Yes.
yeah, I agree. To be honest, if I had to compare Ben Affleck with Christian Bale and
Oh.
even Robert Pattinson, I would say Ben Affleck for me. It's still. I know the movie was not really good, and the other ones with Ben Affleck as a Batman sucked. But for me, he was both the best Bruce Wayne and the best Batman. And as you say, the kind of the transition he does and the balance. Like my problem with Christian Bale was that I, I, j- I just don't like him as Bruce Wayne. I don't know. For me, Christian Bale wasn't really a good Bruce Wayne. I didn't like the interpretation of Bruce Wayne there. And in the Batman with Robert Pattinson, I loved the movie. I really liked Robert Pattinson's Batman, but the idea for Bruce Wayne, I don't know. I mean, it was different. It's not like it was worse. It was just different. But I don't know. Ben Affleck's version, it's just more like classical. I don't know. I always imagined Bruce Wayne more or less like that, as he was shown in this movie. And the Batman, I don't know. It would be for me. It would be difficult to choose, to be honest. Which Batman I actually liked more, Robert Pattinson's or Ben Affleck's? Because I know I really loved the version we saw in the Batman lately, but on the other hand, Ben Affleck's Batman, I mean, he was really, how I always wanted to see Batman. He was violent, he was brutal, he actually killed in this movie, and even like how muscular he was, and how intimidating he felt. He looks like a beast in this movie. He's a big, muscular, fast, dynamic, very brutal. Like comparing to those other Batmans like Christian Bale's and Robert Pattinson's, he just looks really, like much more dangerous, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I really like. I think Pattinson and him are like they go well together, because you could say, and first, like Bruce Wayne, their Bruce Waynes are super different, because you have one that is like the Bruce Wayne you expect, outgoing millionaire that spends his money and
Yeah.
seduces women and stuff. He does that super well. You can see that Pattinson, like, this Wayne has no interest in that at all. He's like a vampire in his cave, never going out. So that's yeah, basically, and he does that well. But it's like, I would say they kind of complement each other well. You could say like Pattinson is like the younger version of Ben Affleck's Batman, and that would make sense because Ben Affleck is like an oldest version of Batman,
Yeah.
and that would go well that at some point of his life, when Bruce Wayne had was like a shutdown, and then he kind of like found his balance. I mean, like they go well together. And the first, what's his name? Bale.
The one from the trilogy?
Yeah,
Yes, it's Christian Bale, yeah.
this guy, like it's a caricature. Like both of like Wayne and Batman are just like a caricature. Like, I don't know how to say. I don't know how to explain it. It's very fictional. Like, I cannot relate to any of them. It's very fictional, but both of them, I just really like the character itself, and I think they both played really well.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, I think with Ben Affleck they showed like this, yeah, as you said, the side of Bruce Wayne as just like a businessman, the millionaire, like a guy who actually runs the company. And yeah, it was nice to see this side as well of Bruce Wayne, because in the trilogy he was more like, this he played this kind of eccentric, rich, spoiled millionaire. I understand it was a facade, but still we didn't see like Christian Bale's Batman running the company. Like,
Yeah.
and here we see it from the beginning, even how the kind of relationship he has with employees and stuff.
Yeah, he's involved, like an involved CEO.
He's involved, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was nice to see it since the beginning. And it's I like what you said about how potentially you can imagine the how the let's say the Batman from the new movie somehow one day eventually like ends up being Ben Affleck's Batman, especially that from what I understood, as at least in this movie, I mean, stylistically speaking, especially the first act, it's still more or less the tried to go the in this more realistic direction of the whole Batman universe, let's say. So I imagine it's even possible that until the whole Superman thing, the whole event when Superman just kinda came to Earth, or when he just simply when people started to be aware of Superman's existence. If I understood correctly, it seems like until then, at least, Batman didn't encounter many super villains or
Mm-hmm.
supernatural, nothing supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
So stylistically speaking, it kind of like makes sense because
Yeah.
Batman from Robert Pattinson's movie is this direction was more realistic. He doesn't encounter any supernatural villains.
Yeah.
Even like the penguin here is just a very ugly, like kind of deformed guy, but nothing, nothing supernatural.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice concept, and yes, I liked it. I mean, in general, first two acts of the movie I liked more or less. The second act already starts to be a bit stupid.
Yeah.
The third one, of course, is it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But this first act and how they portrayed the Batman and Gotham and all Batman related topics, it was really nice. And I wish we could just see more of it. Like I wish we got some Batman solo movie with Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
That I think would be nice. And yeah, talking about first act, I really liked the first act.
Mm-hmm.
Even the way the movie starts, like the whole situation when Superman is battling General Zod from Batman's perspective, it was just really
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of nice things in the first act. Then we have this whole situation in Africa, and I even liked how they changed some classic stuff from comics, like Jimmy Olsen being undercover CIA agent and stuff like that. The whole, well, even the whole Superman public discussion, like
Mm-hmm.
how the world reacted for Superman existence and things like that. I overall I liked it, and in my opinion, they should have just keep that idea.
Yeah.
Like, to make the movie simple, Batman who has clear motivation, it's like from the start, the Batman's motivation is pretty clear, straightforward. There's no need to introduce any other kind of intrigue. Like, it's simple. Batman perceives Superman as a threat, as a danger, because you never know. I mean, Superman is just mentally speaking, he's just a human, let's say.
Yeah.
So you never know what can happen to Superman, and he is dangerous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a person with this kind of powers is dangerous.
Yeah.
So Batman kinda sees that. He considers it a threat, and he's not ready to bet on the fact that Superman may be a good guy or not. Like, he sees him as a danger. It's not anymore the kind of Batman that would wait and see, or he's not naive, and he doesn't have this no kill rule.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Batman who is a bit like Punisher, like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, and I like the idea, and they should just have kept this concept and just execute the idea, and that would be actually super nice. But then unnecessarily they just introduced Lex Luthor, who was really not that much necessary for the whole Batman Superman conflict. They suddenly started to this weird they started this weird motive of Lex Luthor somehow manipulating both of them, guessing their secret identities, kidnapping Superman's mom, and it just got a bit stupid. And of course, well, it was already like said millions of times in internet, but the stupid climax of the whole battle. Like, Batman hears the name Martha, which is also the name of his mom, and suddenly he's like, oh, okay, so I won't kill Superman because his mom's name is also Martha, just like mine. So
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't work. But I have to say I agree with the Batman that kills. I think I agree with that, especially that we're in Gotham. It's like you don't kill them, they go to Arkham and they become villains, and they just then they're free, and it's terrible for your city again. So yeah, that doesn't work. I mean, you justice in Gotham is unfortunately killing the bad guys when you really don't want them to come back. So that does make sense. That does make sense to see Batman acting like that. And about Superman, that's what I said at the beginning. That's what I said at the beginning. I have an issue. I do not like Superman. Like I do not like the guy. Whatever version of Superman, he's full of himself. He has all the powers in the world, so he feels entitled to save the planet. Nobody invited him, like here, to save the planet. Who told you you have to save the planet? Anyway, um, and he's always played by these like stereotypical guys that are supposed to be nerdy but sexy, but like why is that even a thing? And why do people think that if you put glasses you're so different, people will not know who you are? That I mean, I have an issue with Superman. Like I'm very biased in terms of Superman. And I think it did make sense to I mean it did make sense to see, sorry, I have to cough. Like to see Batman mm, perceiving Superman as a threat, because that's the point. Like Superman can be cool until he thinks he's cool, but like what he does is great, but if his opinion differs from yours, well, you have no way to stop him. So that's a valid point. But I also saw Batman, a gothic Batman being like, oh, I'm not the only savior. I'm like, cause and but but I have to say one of the thing that made sense was that when Batman was saying human are heroes because we actually die. Like we do it, we die, we suffer, we feel it. We have to really battle fear. We have to do it, like we're just little humans. We're like ants, and Superman is an eagle. So of course it's a different it's a different type of persona and point of view. So this I agreed, but I also kind of felt it was Batman being like I'm not the king anymore. Like I'm not like the savior. I'm not like the only guy that can do something. So that's also what I saw. But I also, and again, because I do not like Superman did only show me that I was right. Because Superman is like, oh, the Batman is dangerous. And I will stop the Batman because the Batman does exactly the same as I do, but in another way, and I cannot agree if it's not my way. That's what Superman was saying to Batman, and I'm like, go away. Who are you? You're not even from that planet. Like, just, I will give you the mic.
yeah, I mean, oh, by the way, I really liked how Batman was marking those people in the brutal way, like leaving the Batman's mark on their skin.
Yeah.
That was like quite nice. No, I think the Superman's problem with him was that Batman is brutal and he kills. Again, Batman should kill people in the movies. Like no kill rule in case of Batman never really made sense for me. And I liked what I saw in this movie. That I'm not saying he should be Punisher in a cape, but sometimes this rule is very limiting for him. And yeah, so but I understand that was the Superman's problem with Batman.
No, but can I just stop you? I mean, sorry, but like, how can Superman even say that? Like, if you look at the beginning of the movie, the battle between him and that second weird, yes, this person, this General Zod, like, how can even Superman say Batman kills people? Like, man, you actually destroyed the city, you killed people, and he will be, oh, but it wasn't my fault. I was protecting them. Like, go away. Like just go away. Okay.
No, and about yeah, I mean you're right. I mean the difference is that Batman does that on purpose, Superman doesn't. But I get the point. I'm in Batman team, if anything. So, but yeah, about Superman going wrong, let's say, or wild or rogue. I mean, we do have a nice example of that in this The Boys TV series from Amazon,
Yeah.
and more or less we can see there what can go wrong with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's just, I mean, he's not exactly human, but he's like a person, so you never know like what trauma, whatever can change Superman, or how can he be manipulated into anything. So yeah, I agree with Batman that he is dangerous. Maybe he shouldn't be necessarily killed, just in case, but it's good to find some ways to stop him.
Yeah.
So what Batman does makes some sense. But yeah. And about the glasses, I agree. It's stupid as hell. They tried to do some more realistic movie about Batman and Superman, but they ended up with Superman who is hiding his identity by wearing glasses.
Yes,
So
like, come on, seriously.
I agree. Um, well, I must admit they tried a bit because it was the first live action Superman without the panties on pants. So it's
Okay.
always something.
Yeah.
But still, first of all, why those guys need a cape? Like,
Yeah, like,
it's okay.
seriously.
I understand it's still a nice homage to the comics, but we get it. I don't need Batman with a cape. He has his suit, he has his masks, he has his mask. It's okay. The cape is not practical.
No.
Superman, I don't understand it either, but well, the thing with glasses is really stupid, by the way, again. And I agree what you say about, I mean, it's not about Superman anymore. It's more like, the idea of how those modern actors should look like in Hollywood movies. But it's true that in case of Superman, like his powers come from the fact that our sun, like the sun, it gives him powers. Like he's like, I don't know, some solar battery who charges with sun. So that's what
Ecological.
yeah,
Sorry.
that gives him his powers. So like the muscles and showing him being super muscular and tall and stuff, it's not needed because it doesn't give him powers.
Exactly.
So he could be as well, I don't know, skinny or whatever, and he would still have those powers. So that, I mean, in case of Batman, it's different. I mean, the guy must be a beast to beat up 20 criminals and stuff. He must be muscular. He must be in shape and stuff because that's what will save his life. In case of Superman, it really doesn't matter if he's fat, if he's thin, if he's muscular, whatever, tall, short, doesn't matter. He will have those powers anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, like, why does he has to be this nerdy farmer? Like, why?
No, that's just his origin story. That he was raised on a farm, so
Come on,
he
but
must be farmer.
I know, but he has this farmer T-shirt. It's not a T-shirt. What's the name of that thing in English?
A shirt.
Yeah, he has like his
A cowboy shirt.
yeah,
Cowboy shirt. Yeah.
and like all the time, like he owns one, and these glasses, and he's like nerdy type, but sexy, and it's like, why is that to make women think that nerds are nice? I mean, like that doesn't even make sense. Like, I mean, no, it's not that nerds are not knights, and that doesn't make sense. But his image doesn't make sense. I do not like Superman. Man, I don't like. Let's change the topic.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I'm not a Superman fan because I think he used well. Usually, he's too perfect. He's a Boy Scout,
He's too
but
perfect,
but
exactly.
this interpretation of Superman for me, I think, is the worst. I mean, I don't mind the actor in general. I don't like this actor as Superman. I think he's too serious, like all the time, too serious with this pissed face all the time. He's not even smiling, I think, in this movie at all.
Yeah.
He's so tensed all the time. He's, I don't know, it's just the whole idea of dark, gritty vibe. It just doesn't suit Superman. So it didn't help me like him more. They gave me the version of Superman I like even less. I liked, for example, the Superman from the Smallville TV series. It was nice, I think. He was just being a typical
Yeah.
Superman. But here, I don't know. I never liked much Superman, but in this movie, I didn't like him at all. So of course, I rooted even more for Batman to just beat him. And yeah, and actually, I'm happy it happened. I told you Mario would be happy. Like he gets such a beating from Batman.
Yeah, and you can see that actually the guy is like, that's exactly this. That's what Batman was saying. Like, humans are heroes because look, like, you don't even know how to fight. You cannot rely on your muscles and on your powers. So you're like, you don't know how. You just, you're just Superman. You're just full of yourself. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, their duel showed that that's it. Superman without his powers is like I don't want to say nothing, but he wouldn't like be able to do any harm to any other like hero without superpowers.
No, but even harm it. Like, what kind of what kind of courage would be asked from Superman without his powers to actually do the right thing? You know, to actually be Batman. Would Superman without like would what his name of Superman without his
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent. Yeah, I don't know names. Like I have to precise that. I don't know characters' names. I don't know actors' names. I know names of the people I love, which is already great, but that's it. So Clark Kent, uh, like, would he be able to be a Batman if he didn't have his powers? And I think, what I really think is that actually he would give anything to not have his powers and live his normal daily life, being a farmer, being in love, and not have to do anything with saving humanity.
Yeah, actually, that's I think that's the main difference between Captain America and Superman. I mean, I know it sounds like an off topic because I started talking about Captain America, but for me, always Captain America was kind of Marvel's equivalent of Superman in that Marvel universe because both of them have those powers. They are like the leaders. They are colorful and positive, and they are both Boy Scouts. Like they both are like Mr. Perfect. But the main difference, like what you said, what's Superman without those powers? And with Captain America, for example, in the first movie, there is a scene like the guy is so weak and skinny and all, but he still wants to go to the war and fight for
Yeah.
his country. And there's a scene when like there's a grenade and he just decides to jump on the grenade to save
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like the guy, he's a hero, with or
Yeah.
without powers. The
Exactly.
guy will find a way to still be a hero, to
Yeah.
to fight for what's right for him, for what he considers right, and he will find a way to be a hero. In case of Superman without powers, he can just go back to the farm he came from, and that's it. He can ride his tractor or or whatever, and be happy. And there's nothing bad with that, of course. But yeah, in like this particular case, Batman was right. Like, what is he without those powers? It's actually, those are humans who are actually heroes here, because they have a lot of to lose and a lot of to sacrifice. Like, to be Batman, imagine how much you need to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, hours of training, the whole effort he does, like overcoming fear and stress, and many recoveries, I imagine, after many injuries. And he's sacrificing his health, he's dedicating his time, it's affecting his personal life as well. Basically, he cannot have the luxury of having the normal life with wife, kids, and stuff. By the way, I liked the short allusion how they showed the Robin costume, obviously alluding that at some point Joker killed Robin. It was nice. It was nice to see it. It was nice to see it in a movie. Like, it's just few seconds, but it gives you a lot of insight about this Batman, what he already went through, and who knows, maybe that was the point where he just stopped with the no kill rule and decided to, like, change his ways. Maybe he spared Joker's life too many times before he killed Robin. So it was nice. And speaking about Joker, what I like as well about the movie, what I like,
no Joker. That's what you
no
want to
Joker
say. Yeah.
and no Gordon. It's
There was
like no Gordon
That's
as well.
true. That's true.
And those characters were unnecessary, and they weren't there. So it was nice. And again, I wished the movie had only 2 acts and Superman would be the villain. Like, it would be
Yeah.
such a great concept. Actually, I read there is a fan edit in the internet where the guy cut all the extended universe crap, all Doomsday, Wonder Woman, all other scenes. The guy just left the whole Batman versus Superman motive, and he just left this. So I would be really interested to watch it, like, someday in future, because I imagine it must be nice to watch a movie that is only about the showdown between Batman and Superman, and to see Superman as a, well, not maybe a villain, but, well, anti-hero, let's say,
Yeah.
like the opponent, at least, of the main character of Batman. So yeah, it was interesting. I think it would be interesting, because it was totally wasted, I would say, in this movie. Again, it was a movie with with potential, which was totally wasted. And by the way, Mari, do you know that the movie came out in 2016? So it was kinda competition with Marvel, because the same year, more or less in the same, maybe even in the same quarter of the year, other movie premiered from Marvel Studios, and it was this Captain America Civil War, where you had Captain America versus Iron Man. So there were like those two big movies in the same year, like Captain America versus Iron Man and Batman versus Superman.
Oh, that's. I mean, they could that. Oh, I didn't know. Well,
Yeah,
they lost.
totally.
Sorry, but they did. But it's. I think it's because I think they wanted to show too much. Like it was too much of.
Yeah, you can see that they just tried to build the whole universe, something that Marvel did like during 5, 6 movies.
Exactly.
They tried to do it in like
one movie.
50 minutes, let's
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Totally. Like, even Wonder Woman, she shouldn't be there. I mean, I wouldn't mind if she was just there like as Diana, and it would be like just alluded that it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that would have been okay.
But to go this fast way that in the third act she's already main protagonist and fighting along, like, side by side with them, that was too much. Like, the
And
movie's too rushed with everything.
and for Super Wonder Woman, like let's change her costume.
Yeah, it's the time, and the sword doesn't really make sense anymore. It's, yeah, it's it doesn't work anymore. They need to
Yeah,
redesign her.
yeah, like totally. And I mean, and I'm not, I'm not into like all of this like pro woman or whatever. I mean, I'm supportive of everybody, but I'm just like, it's like common sense. Batman is not battling people in string. Let's just cover Wonder Woman. Let's just
Well,
do
he
it.
still has a cape, but they tried. I mean, at
At
least they
least he's
tried.
covered.
Yeah, they tried to redesign those all of those costumes, but somehow for Wonder Woman they still, try to keep this comic book
Yeah, she
version.
just like she likes heels. Like
Yeah.
basically, like seriously. And Lois Lane, like, please just buy a pair of baskets. Like, I'll even send them to you. Like, seriously, stop with these heels. Like,
No, talking about Lois Lane, she was super stupid in this movie.
she was so annoying.
She was annoying, she was stupid, and how she threw away this this thing with kryptonite, the
Who
stuff.
does that? Yes.
Like, instead of hiding it somewhere, the only
Yes.
weapon that could kill Superman, she decides to throw it just to some random, just to water in a random place, like
Yeah.
just like that, hoping no one would like find it. Um, it was super stupid, and it almost killed Superman, by the way,
Yeah.
during the movie. So
No, she just takes random decisions for everybody because she thinks her morale her morals are the best. Like, her opinion is the one that is the right one. That's basically what she does during the whole movie. And the heels, I cannot even, like, seriously, like, for everybody, like Lois Lane, everybody should realize, just put on some baskets. And she's just, I mean, they go well together. Lois Lane and Superman go well together. And I really wish for them they can be just farmers. They would be so happy to have like a normal life. And they're just so like involved in that mission of doing the right thing. Like, I cannot even like, and how toxic is that Superman has become a god for people. It's like, so what? So people do not have faith in their own capacity of being human, of being better, of like building humanity, or like making earth a better place. No, because Superman will do it for us. And like,
actually, it's something I would like to see in a movie. Like, first of all, I really would like to see a serious comic book movie that would treat some topics in a serious way. It could be TV series, whatever, but to show those things from a realistical point of view. I know, for example, the boys are very like grotesque sometimes, and it's more satirical.
mm-hmm,
But for example, I loved how they showed all the super speed in the boys. The
mm-hmm,
guy just runs and accidentally he just kills a woman
mm-hmm,
because, well, he just jumped on her
mm-hmm,
by super spinning. So again, like Superman being basically like a god from, who fell from sky.
mm-hmm.
Like, I would love to see a movie or a TV series or whatever with this motive, that imagine people just suddenly starting, I don't know, some church of Superman,
Of
like
course they would.
they would start to just treat Superman as their new god,
Yeah.
or something. They would start the new mythology, the all of it, like the whole, the new faith, the new religion.
Yeah.
And that could well, that could be very interesting, because I think that could actually happen. Like, when you have a guy like Superman, that he's real and he's on Earth, and it's confirmed, and he's there, you can see him and all. It's kind of obvious. It's one of the things that could happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see that as well.
I would be so angry at that movie. I would just be so angry after going out of the cinema. But that makes sense. But I think you can see that a little bit in that movie. It's like everybody's like expecting Superman. It's okay because Superman is here. What does that mean? First, he's one. Second, if he hears Lois Lane's voice when you are dying, believe me, you will die anyway. And that, what does that mean? Like, what, Superman is here, so we don't need to work anymore? We don't need to like work. I mean, work. Like, we don't need to like work at being humanity. No, because Superman is here. And then people will be like, I'm not Superman, I cannot do it. Or it's no, that makes me angry. But it makes sense. What you say makes sense. But it would make me angry. That movie would make me angry.
Or even imagine how many people would start questioning their religion. Like, I mean, okay, you have your religion all your life. You were taught and to well, you were like raised in some particular religion and traditions and stuff. But then you have this guy from the sky. It's not like some mythical god you just heard about in mythology or on religion lessons at school or whatever. No, it's a guy who's there. He has all the powers, all kind of powers that only God would have. And I imagine a lot of people would start questioning,
No, I don't think they would question.
like
They would be like, "Oh, it's our savior," and then other would be like, "No, it's our." Then, "Oh, it's our," and then they would do war.
that's possible as well. That's
What
possible as well.
humans would
A
do.
lot of people also, I think, would try to like somehow connect all dots, like reimagining him, like, okay, he's a new reincarnation of our the god we praised before, or something like that. I think it's interesting. Who knows, maybe one day they will go with that direction in some movie, in some TV series. Nowadays they produce a lot of those things, especially on those platforms like Netflix, Amazon. So who knows, maybe someone picks up this kind of idea. We never know.
Do you
Yeah.
have any other topic?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you don't?
no. I'm following you.
You really didn't like the movie, did you? It's not like I liked it much, but
It's like it's an it's an okay popcorn movie.
to be honest, it seems you rate it even higher than me. I don't even think it's nice for popcorn. First act is good.
Popcorn is always good.
Okay. First act is good. Second is already a popcorn movie. Third one, you just wish the movie ended at the Superman and Batman showdown, because
Yeah.
third act, it's so shitty. It's just shitty. It doesn't make sense. In like 2 minutes, they introduce Doomsday. Suddenly, there's Wonder Woman then fighting alongside Superman and Batman, Doomsday, and it's just so messy and it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. The movie is too rushed. The pacing is terrible, and too many cameos. Like, again, they tried to build the whole universe in one act of the movie.
Actually, do we see the moment Wonder Woman leaves the plane and how she gets there?
Nope. She just arrives,
She's just there.
She just
Yeah.
arrives, in the, of course, with a perfect timing and all. But I mean, I know that there's a longer version of the movie because I saw it, but even that, you can clearly see the theatrical version was cut. You can see a lot of material was cut because the movie seems very rushed. Even the first act, it's like, okay, this happened, checked, next. Okay, this happened, checked. It's like to tell the whole story and have a good pacing, the movie would have to be at least 3 hours long. Or the best would be to just do two movies, one
Yeah.
about Superman versus Batman, another one about Doomsday. But no, they just tried to do 2 or 3 movies in one movie. And
Yeah.
they made it short. Like the version we watched is like 2 hours something. So the pacing is terrible.
Yeah.
The third act is terrible. Wonder Woman is so not necessary again, and even her soundtrack is like, I understand they introduced the soundtrack, like the yeah, the music theme for Wonder Woman. I understand she needs one, but it was so different from the whole soundtrack of this movie. Like,
That's true.
it didn't fit. It just didn't fit. They should have introduced her music theme in her own movie and then make it stylistically work out. But here it again it doesn't make sense. It's like it really doesn't make sense. And since we're talking about things we didn't like necessarily in the movie, Lex Luthor. I hated Lex Luthor in this movie. I think he was too grotesque, too eccentric. He was basically just crazy, spoiled, rich kid. And I don't know. I didn't like this version of Lex Luthor. I liked the more classical Lex Luthor, who is cunning, smart, classy, very smart actually, really manipulating, not only because the screenplay says so. And yeah, I preferred again Lex Luthor from Smallville TV series, or even from Superman Returns movie, played by I think it was Kevin Spacey. So yeah, I really didn't like Lex Luthor. His motivation, like, doesn't make sense.
It's a mystery.
But basically, he's just crazy. It doesn't make sense. Like, what's the idea? Like, what he wants to prove? Like, okay, he wanted to prove that Superman is not perfect. Okay, he's not. We know that. Like, why do you need to prove that? And why to kill Batman? Like, what's the point of killing Batman? Of Superman killing Batman, or Batman killing like, I don't know. It's just and how he guessed the identities of them, and like, it didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, it wasn't shown. Any of
It
that was
didn't.
shown.
And then he releases Doomsday, the individual that could just destroy the whole Earth. What's the motivation there? Let's just destroy Earth. Why? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, what wasn't shown is that, I mean, first, I have to say I liked the way he was played. I didn't like the character itself, but I think he was well played by the actor. But it's like we're missing some. It seems that basically it's like a Lex Luthor that has become fascinated by dark forces, like dark alien supernatural forces, and we miss all of that. Was it because he saw Superman, then his mind opened to like extraterrestrial, like extra Earth, extraterrestrials in English, aliens.
No, well, Alien as well. I mean, I think it's extraterrestrial. Poof. I don't know. No idea. I mean,
Aliens. Let's stick to
yeah,
aliens.
let's stick to Alien.
Like his mind opened to supernatural world, or like, I don't know.
I just googled it. It's extraterrestrial.
Oh, extraterrestrial. And but it's like we missed that whole, what happened, I don't know, like maybe he discovered some kind of magic black book, like a bad witch black book, we don't know, like. And then at the end he's like, oh, but he will come anyway. Who is he talking about? Like, what kind of forces? Like, what's his fascination? Like, something is fascinating him, but
No,
what's.
this one was explained in the follow up movie, the Justice League.
Well, I don't remember that. But I think anyway, we miss a lot of important informations on why. Like, why is he just. Because he just seems like a lunatic millionaire that wants some entertainment.
Yeah, that's how it feels actually when you watch the movie.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. Yeah, it's true. That's how it feels. Yeah.
Do you have any other topics?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
um, This topic is actually the one you should like, I think,
Oh.
and we still didn't mention it. And I think it's something that usually fascinates you a lot about Batman universe. Gotham, the city.
Oh, that's true.
How did you like how they showed Gotham in this movie?
It was nice. I mean, it was the first time it made sense that uh, the Wayne family went to the theater. Like, I mean, sorry, but in some of the movies, the way they show this, it's theater or opera when the Wayne when his parents.
In the Batman, they were smart enough to not show it.
Yeah, that's true. But when his parents are killed, it's like whenever you see that scene, you're like, but why would you go there? I mean, you're millionaires. Just
Yeah,
go
they
there.
just went to to slums to for the opera, and they
Exactly.
didn't. I don't know, have money for taxi or whatever. Like
Yeah.
the hell.
And it's like they went like, why as a millionaire would you go to a slum wearing, it's like you're wearing a dress made of money and you expect poor people not to steal from you. You're like, why would you do that? Of course you don't wear stuff like that. If you do, you have some security guards with you. I don't know, like some kind of like logical stuff. It never made sense to me. And what was nice is that they were showing a Gotham that, yeah, it is like it's cleaner. I mean, it's not a city you want to run away from. It's a city you kind of understand. Like any city in the world, you have neighborhood that are like unfortunately considered bad, and you have other places like where you would be happier to live in.
Yeah, again, as you said, I mean, as we mentioned in the other podcast, Gotham in the trilogy, in Nolan's trilogy, was just very mediocre. It was just a city, like a random big city. It had no soul for me.
Mm-hmm.
And here I liked Gotham, and again, as we mentioned about Batman, it's again the same. I could believe that, it's a Gotham, more or less the same Gotham we got in the Batman, and how it evolved with Batman being there for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's again, it's cleaner, it's safer, but you still can feel the vibe. Like it's not just some random big city like in Nolan's movies. You can still feel the vibe of Gotham. It still feels a bit,
It's Gotham,
dark.
yeah.
Yeah, you can still feel it's Gotham. The problem for me in the Dark Knight trilogy was that I never felt it's Gotham. I never felt that in those movies. It was like, I don't know, some Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, no, makes sense. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think in terms of depicting Gotham City, they did good. They did pretty good.
They did. They did. It was nice.
I also like how everyone is scared of Batman. They imagine him as some legendary psycho. So it's nice. And what was interesting for me, it was how they chose. I don't know if that's the thing in comic books, but how they make Gotham being not so far from Metropolis. That the two cities are not that far away from each other.
Well, that's true. You noted that during the movie, and I wouldn't pick that, but that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Imagine how safe they must feel now in the city, knowing that they have not only Batman, but Superman can come there in like 5 minutes by flying.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I liked Gotham in this movie. And one other aspect, Alfred. How did you, just out of curiosity, how did you like Alfred in this movie, especially comparing with the one from the Batman? Because I think they are somehow similar. I think Alfred in those two movies are very similar to each other. How he was done, how he was the way he was wrote in the movie.
I wanted to say the crappiest place in that movie is the place where his parents are buried. Like, it's the place that
Why?
is the scariest.
Seriously? Why?
I don't know, it was scary to me. I wouldn't go. I mean, I wouldn't go. I would go if it was my parents, but I wouldn't choose that place. It was scary.
Mm, I didn't really think about that.
But I would be the Batman. I guess I wouldn't be scared of going there. So that's just my point of view of me being scared of going there.
How was that related to Alfred?
It
Coffee?
wasn't. It wasn't. But Alfred, I always like Alfred. I want to have an Alfred in my life. So I really, no, I really liked this one. He was nice. He was helpful. He was engaged. He was like, the guy is definitely an alien because he's like a survivor. He's like 200 years now, and I like him. And he's always of support. He's always nice, and I was happy to see he's not the guy that just prepares dinner.
Yeah, the he's more like Alfred in the Batman than Grandpa Nice Alfred in Christopher Nolan's
Yeah,
trilogy.
yeah.
I mean, I liked all three of them, and it's interesting how somehow I don't know if it comes from comic books, but it was already somehow just mentioned in Christopher Nolan's trilogy that that's this nice Grandpa Alfred used to be some commando or military
Mm-hmm.
when he was young, and those two Alfreds from Batman versus Superman movie and the Batman, they are both like obviously some ex-commandos, and somehow they both are similar. I think they were very similar to each other. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's more or less very similar interpretation of Alfred, which is interesting. I liked it. It's a nice, reimagined version of Alfred character.
Yeah, I liked him. I like Alfred. Like, really, we need an Alfred. So everybody needs an Alfred.
Yeah, I must admit, in recently in those all of those movies, like Christopher Nolan's movies, the Zack Snyder's movie, and even the new one, I like all the actors and all interpretations of Alfred. He's
Mm-hmm.
always very well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Unlike, for example, Joker, like it's not like I like every interpretation or other character, but with Alfred, usually it's done very well.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how old was Alfred when he started to work for the Waynes? To not be that old now that Superman is older.
Yeah, I mean, in this movie, it was I was wondering about that because in this movie, Batman himself is like 50. Alfred
Yeah.
is ex-commando. He was already an adult and probably experienced adult when he started to raise him. So the guy must be like 80. So he should be more like Grandpa Alfred from Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan's movies. But here he seems young. Like I would say 60, 65. So yeah, it kind of makes no sense. But I don't know. I think in case of this movie, it's I mean, a lot of things don't make sense. So,
No, but I mean, it's the same for Pattinson. Like, but I mean.
but he's young at least in this movie. He's like 30, not
Oh,
50.
okay, that's true. Pattinson
So
is
it's okay.
younger.
Here, Alfred can be 60 because it still makes sense. But Ben Affleck,
No, he was not 50, he was like 50 something in that movie, in Pattinson movie.
I mean, Batman.
I mean,
Like in
I'm
Batman
talking about
versus.
Alfred.
No, come on, he was like 60, no?
This
Oh.
Alfred? With Pattinson?
Yeah, I mean, 60 years old guy, like ex commando who is in a good shape. Like 50, but in very
Good
good shape.
shape, man.
Yeah.
I want that shape when I will be 60. Yeah, no, okay. Sorry. No, but I mean, like, I said sorry because I wasn't talking to the microphone. But yeah, I mean, that's why I say he's 200 years, and that's really great because he lives on forever. But his age doesn't just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense, to be fair.
It kinda doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. It doesn't.
But that's okay. We love him anyway.
Yep. And one last thing, well, everyone was hyped about with this movie, and this I liked.
Really?
This Batman dream, the vision of the future.
Oh.
I loved this version of Batman. I would love to see it so much, some post-apocalyptic movie with this kind of Batman who is just basically he's just being a Punisher in a cape. I mean, I loved those scenes because it was just a badass. It was just badass. Like this Batman was badass. Probably maybe it's not the material for the whole movie, but it was nice to see Batman in this version. It was nice just to see it for a few seconds.
But he lost in his vision, no?
Yeah, but who cares? It just looked badass.
I don't want Batman to lose.
Me neither, but the life he chose. I mean, he must realize that one day he ends up being killed. There's no other. I mean, if he doesn't retire, and I don't think Batman is the kind of guy who would admit it's time to retire. Eventually, I think that's logical fate for Batman. Like one day you end up being killed, I know, stabbed, whatever, in some dark corner. You just lose. You are too old for this profession, and eventually someone just kills you or expose you. It's like that's how it ends, I think. I mean, I know in most of those comic books and comics, he just retires eventually. But I don't know, in those movies, I don't see Batman as someone who would just be like, okay, I'm too old for this shit, it's time to retire. Like, he looks more like someone, especially Ben Affleck's Batman, he looks like someone who will do it as long as he doesn't get killed.
I never thought about how Batman stops being Batman, to be fair, but that's true what you're saying, that he looks like he will be killed, like in the field, like being a Batman. But I never thought about that.
I mean, depends on the incarnation. I understand there are incarnations of Batman that at some point decided to retire because of different reasons. But this particular one, at least, Ben Affleck's Batman, who already went through all kinds of situations, including the death of Robin, I don't see him quitting. He's
Yeah.
50 something and he still does that. He's obsessed with it. He's obsessed already with it.
Yeah.
So he won't stop until he's killed. He's not like Christian Bale that, okay, I did my thing, now someone can carry on my legacy, but I'm done. For me, it's time to retire, have my life. Mm, no, both of them actually, Robert Pattinson's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batmans, I really see them, as you said, again, they have, I see this, similarity between them, like how they are obsessed with the job,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
motivated they are. Like both of them, I don't see them just quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those Batmans, the end, I see it as them being killed in a dark corner.
Yeah, no, no, it makes sense. I just never realized Batman could die. But yeah, no, 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 that makes sense. But I wouldn't like. I think it wouldn't be strategical. I mean, I think it's really better for the Batman to retire when it's time. So what he's fighting, like his legend of being the unbeatable guardian of the city that you have to be afraid of, would carry on and like be taken, like he can have like another Robin. He doesn't have to call him Robin. He can call him Jack, like whoever. But like it would be strategical for this, what he worked for, you know what I mean? If he's dying as the Batman, then everything he worked for dies with him. Like all of this piece that he tried, to implement, like all of what he built slowly dies because someone would say, I killed the Batman. The Batman is gone. So that's not strategical.
Yes. Um. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's interesting topic as well. It is something I would like to see eventually. I imagine he would, with time, he would rely more and more on gadgets as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's too proud to let someone else become Batman. I mean, at least this particular incarnation, or two of them, Pattinson's and Ben Affleck's. I think both of them are too, I don't know, especially Ben Affleck, too egotic, too proud to let someone else carry on this mantle of Batman. So he would do it until as long as he can with the use of gadgets. And by the way, mentioning gadgets, I'm not a fan of Batman's gadgets, but in this movie somehow they had a nice balance with it. I mean, how he uses them, it still felt realistic. I liked he used guns as well. He had expensive gadgets, a bit futuristic gadgets, but it didn't feel, like James Bond movie. Because, sorry, in Christopher Nolan's trilogy, for me, those gadgets were more like in James Bond movies, like too science fiction, too futuristic. I don't know. I didn't buy it. And here, somehow they balanced the idea of gadgets, even a bit futuristic, expensive gadgets, but still it doesn't make it a James Bond movie. It's and again he uses guns as well, which makes sense because for some reason like guns are used. I mean, when you are a vigilante, I imagine it's a very efficient weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a reason why Punisher uses it. So I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. In general, most of things related with Batman I liked in this movie. I liked how they, like, what they explored from Batman universe in this movie was done more or less well. The Batman part of the movie, except the last scenes when suddenly he became like a fan of Superman and you know talking, giving this speech, typical cliche speech about stuff to Wonder Woman. I didn't like that part, but in general, I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman, and I remember how everyone was so disappointed and worried because everyone remembered Ben Affleck as this shitty Daredevil from 2003 movie. So yeah, he did great, and yeah, all the Batman Gotham stuff in this movie was done well. The Superman part I didn't like much. In first act it was okay, then it was terrible. Well, it was not good, maybe not terrible. It wasn't good. The third act and all the stuff related to DC Extended Universe, it was terrible. It was shitty. I hated it. So yeah, it's funny how the first act is well done, a bit rushed, but well done. Second one is just mediocre. The third one, you really regret you watched it. So yeah, that was my opinion about this movie, and I think I don't have anything more to say about this film.
So I agree with you, but then I was thinking about how the Batman should stop, and I think what would make a lot of sense would be for the Batman to make public the corruption of Gotham. To cause like the Batman can fight against bad people, but bad people are being created in Gotham by the corrupted visible people that are there. So I think that would be some like. But anyway, I'm just thinking about the Batman, and I don't want the Batman to die. So that's it. And about the movie, yeah, I agree. I mean, the Batman part was nice. The Superman, I actually would love to watch a Superman movie where I could enjoy Superman. For example, Captain America, I had a lot of troubles accepting him, and he grew on me. I like with time, he really grew on me. But Superman didn't. Like, really, zero. He doesn't. He didn't. I would like to see. I'm ready to give him another chance. Like, we can become friends a little. And that's it, because I will just get lost in whatever I want to say. So that's it for me.
If you want, one day we can watch. I mean, I know it's not the perfect movie, but I remember I liked it as a teenager. Superman Returns movie. We can watch it one day. I don't know. Maybe I think if that movie won't make you like Superman. I mean, we won't rewatch 10 seasons of Smallville,
No.
obviously. So
Oh no.
I don't even would. I have such a nice nostalgia toward this show that I will never watch it again, just because I want to remember it the way I perceived it as a teenager, as a kid. But Superman Returns, I can risk. Or if not, we can watch some of the old Superman movies from 50s. They were nice. They are like lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to cuddle him. Like, I will I will just show him a little little panties, and he will look nice. I mean, like, he's just cute there.
We will definitely rewatch at some point some Superman stuff from the 50s. It's just you will love it.
Yeah, no, this I'm happy. This I'm happy to watch, but it's just that he's cute, you know. It's it's not. I mean, I would be happy to see, just as we saw another interpretation of the Joker, a new interpretation of the Batman. I'll be very like surprised if it's done well, of course, to have another interpretation of Superman. This I'll be very happy to see, like a new one that we can relate to, that makes sense, and that is not all flashy, shiny. Superman hero is here. You will feel better now.
Yes, and definitely it's the time to reimagine Superman costume. Like
Yeah.
Hollywood people or DC people, just please start to be more creative and brave. Like, oh, that's another thing I liked about Smallville TV series. Before becoming officially Superman in this show, um, look, I even googled it, especially for you. That's the kind of costume that Clark Kent uses for his, well, not Superman yet, but superhero alter ego, and it looked nice. No cape, it's just a long Matrix kinda coat. The logo is there, but it's more subtle. And he's just wearing what? Black jeans, normal t-shirt, boots, and it looks cool. I think it looks cool. Like comparing with what we got in movies, well, it looks cool.
I mean, whatever happens, he doesn't need the cape effect. Like,
Yeah, the coat looks nice, for example.
I don't
It's
think he needs a coat. But I mean, it
I mean
looks
it's
better
better
than
than
the
cape.
cape.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't. I mean, the guy, we all know he flies. I think they're giving the cape and the coat, it's like moving, so it's like relates to the wind and the fact that he flies, but he's flying. That's one of his like superpower. The guy flies. We don't need. I would actually like to see a Superman movie where Superman is sitting, like a Superman poster movie, where Superman is damn sitting on a chair. Like, there is no, like, nothing relates to his superpower, to his win, whatever. Come on, look at this.
I
Like,
just showed her the poster of Superman Returns.
no, I don't even want. No, I don't want to watch that. Like, he's just he. like with his primary colors, costume, and his cape. No.
And the panties.
And the panties, like seriously, get rid of the panties.
But Marlon Brando is Jor-El there.
Yeah.
So
We can watch. We can watch. We will.
I will see. I mean, I think there are dozens of good movies we would love to watch and then make a podcast about them. Especially that we want to discuss as well some classic movies and other things. It's not like the podcast will be only about Batman and comic books. But yeah, one day eventually, I think it may be nice to see Superman Returns. Let's see how Mari likes it.
Yep. And I think we can wrap it up, no?
We can, yeah.
Okay, so we can wrap it up. And I'm actually curious, guys, what kind of Superman costume do you like? Do you have a favorite one? And if there was to be a new costume, how would you imagine that new Superman costume?
Yeah.
That was the end.
Yeah. Yes, please share with us how you imagine this Superman suit you would like to see. And if you never saw it, please Google it, check it. Clark Kent's costume in Smallville. The black one with black coat and stuff, and you will see it looked badass, it looked modern, and yeah, tell us if you like it more than what we got in Batman vs Superman.
Yep. So thank you very much, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode and see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.